the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, are hitting back at the Nigerian government following last month's high-profile sentencing. The Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium is now describing the legal proceedings as a calculated effort to secure a conviction where they claim no legal basis existed. In a statement released by Barrister Onyedikachi Ifedi, the group of defense lawyers alleges that government prosecutors engineered a trial without law in the case against Kanu. This challenge follows the November 20th ruling by Justice James Omotosho of the Abuja Federal High Court, which sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment on terrorism charges. The IPOB leader is currently serving that sentence at the Sokoto prison. Lawyers representing Nnamdi Kanu have officially launched an appeal against his recent life sentence, alleging the trial was conducted without a clear legal basis. In a statement released Saturday, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium claimed that the prosecution failed to specify the exact law used to convict the IPOB leader. The group characterized the case as a calculated effort to force a conviction despite what they describe as an absence of supporting legislation. Defense attorneys highlighted the proceedings from November 4th, during which Kanu took up his own defense, as a key point of contention in their filing. This move to appeal follows the November 20th ruling by the Abuja Federal High Court, which saw Kanu transferred to Sokoto prison to serve his sentence. The legal team representing Nnamdi Kanu is escalating its challenge against his life sentence, labeling the recent trial unprecedented and a violation of modern constitutional practice. In a scathing update from the Global Defense Consortium, lawyers allege that during a pivotal session on November 4th, the Abuja Federal High Court continued the criminal trial without identifying the specific law under which Kanu was being prosecuted. The consortium claims that while the court acknowledged the Constitution forbids conviction in the absence of such a law, it deferred the matter to a final address before allegedly abolishing that final address entirely. The statement characterizes the proceedings as institutional intransigence, claiming a judge and prosecutor worked in tandem to bypass the law. Kanu's defense continues to move forward with the appeal process as the IPOB leader remains at the Sokoto prison following his November 20th conviction on terrorism charges. The legal battle over the conviction of Nnamdi Kanu is now centering on a single, repeated question asked during his November trial, a question the defense claims the court simply failed to answer. According to a new statement from the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium, the IPOB leader spent the November 4th proceedings repeatedly asking the court, "My lord, please show me the law under which I am being tried." The defense team describes this as the most fundamental question in the criminal justice system. However, they allege that throughout the entire session, Justice James Omotosho never named a current statute or identified an operative legal section to justify the prosecution. The consortium further contends that the court failed to state which written law justified Kanu's detention or explain which laws remained in effect following previous repeals. This alleged silence from the bench is now a primary pillar of the defense's effort to overturn Kanu's life sentence as they move forward with the appeal process. The legal challenge surrounding Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence is now centering on a specific constitutional argument, as his defense team claims the recent trial violated the fundamental rights of the accused. Lawyers for the IPOB leader argue that the proceedings failed to comply with Section 36, subsection 12 of the Nigerian Constitution. That section stipulates that no person shall be tried or convicted for an offense unless it is defined by a written law. The defense consortium maintains that the trial itself should have been legally barred from the outset. They contend that a court cannot proceed to a defense before first establishing that a crime actually exists under current statutes. According to their statement, the court's logic would effectively make detention without a legal basis appear lawful, a scenario the legal team describes as constitutionally impossible. The consortium is expected to use this alleged breach of constitutional protocol as a primary pillar in their ongoing appeal to overturn the November 20th conviction. Defense lawyers are escalating their rhetoric against the judiciary, asserting that the recent legal proceedings were not a result of oversight, but a deliberate re-engineering of the Constitution designed specifically to keep the trial alive. In their latest statement, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium also addressed the controversial issue of Kanu's return to Nigeria. The team is officially faulting the court's argument that no evidence of extraordinary rendition was presented during the trial. They are pushing back against the claim that no witnesses or documentation came before the court to testify to the IPOB leader's forced return, a factor they maintain should have impacted the legality of the entire case. The legal battle over Nnamdi Kanu's conviction has intensified, with his defense team labeling claims made during the trial as demonstrably false based on the official court record. The Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium is pushing back against assertions that no evidence of extraordinary rendition was presented. The defense clarifies that the rendition was not only pleaded on affidavit, but had been previously ruled upon by appellate courts. In a pointed critique, the statement notes that Justice Omotosho cited the same Kenyan judgment that condemned the extraordinary rendition, yet allegedly claimed that no information regarding the matter was placed before his court. The defense team further highlighted that the Supreme Court of Nigeria has already weighed in on the issue, with Justice Agim reportedly concurring in a description of the act as state criminality. This dispute over the record forms a central part of the consortium's move to overturn the life sentence as the case moves toward the appellate stage. In a separate development, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, has paid a pastoral visit to Nnamdi Kanu at the Sokoto Correctional Center. The visit, which took place on Thursday as part of the bishop's annual Christmas outreach, marks the second high-profile visit to the IPOB leader since his transfer to the facility. Bishop Kuka, who met with both male and female inmates during a 3-hour session, emphasized that the visit was rooted in pastoral duty, stating that the church focuses on human dignity regardless of an individual's legal standing. Kanu's legal counsel, Aloy Ejimakor, and family members have expressed gratitude for the visit, describing the interaction as a significant show of solidarity during what they call a time of distress. This meeting comes as Kanu's defense team continues to lobby for his transfer back to Abuja, citing the distance as a major hurdle in preparing his constitutional appeal. In another development, the Catholic Bishop of the Sokoto Diocese, Dr. Matthew Kuka, visited IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu at the Sokoto Correctional Center this past Thursday. The meeting was made public by Kanu's younger brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, who shared details of the encounter on social media. According to the family, the discussion between the bishop and the detained leader was marked by laughter and extreme joy. Prince Emmanuel further noted that the clergyman offered prayers for Kanu during the visit. The high-profile meeting comes as Kanu continues to serve a life sentence in the Sokoto facility following his November 20th conviction. While the bishop's visit was described as pastoral in nature, it has drawn significant attention given the ongoing legal battle over Kanu's detention and the defense team's recent claims of constitutional violations during his trial. The legal team representing Nnamdi Kanu is intensifying its efforts to overturn his life sentence, characterizing his recent trial as a calculated effort to force a conviction in the complete absence of law. In a statement released Saturday by the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Global Defense Consortium, Barrister Onyedikachi Ifedi alleged that the Abuja Federal High Court, presided over by Justice James Omotosho, committed grave constitutional errors. The defense claims that during the November 4th proceedings, Kanu repeatedly asked to see the specific statute under which he was being tried, a question the consortium says was never answered. Lawyers argue the trial violated Section 36, subsection 12 of the Constitution, which prohibits conviction for any offense not defined by written law. They further describe the court's handling of the case as institutional intransigence, alleging that the judge and prosecution worked in tandem to bypass legal requirements. In a separate development, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka of the Sokoto Diocese met with the IPOB leader at the Sokoto Correctional Center this past Thursday. Kanu's brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, reported the meeting was filled with laughter and extreme joy, noting that the bishop offered prayers for the detained leader. Kanu remains in the Sokoto facility following his November 20th conviction on 7 counts of terrorism. His legal team is now moving forward with an appeal, citing state criminality regarding his initial rendition and a lack of jurisdiction by the Nigerian court. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for more news and information from Biafra Unite Television.